You know, in higher education, there's this one process. It's super important, but honestly, it can be a massive headache for faculty. I'm talking about mapping student outcomes. Well, today, we're going to dig into Dr. Prashant Aragade's work and see how AI is about to completely change the game for this critical, and let's face it, often frustrating task. Okay, so the foundation for all of this is something called outcome-based education, or OBE for short. And it's a simple idea, really. Instead of just, ticking off topics in a textbook, OBE asks, what can students actually do with what they've learned by the end of the course? It's all about building real practical skills they can take straight into their careers.
So how does OBE actually work? Well, it's this simple but really powerful four-step cycle. First, you define the outcomes. What do you want students to achieve? Then you design activities to get them there. Next up, you develop assessments to see how they're doing. And here's the kicker. The final step, you map and measure everything. This gives you the data to constantly make the course better. It's like a perpetual feedback loop for improvement. And that last step, the mapping part, that brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today. It's all about connecting the specific course outcomes, the COs, to the big picture program outcomes, or POs. And trust me, this isn't just some administrative checkbox. It's the absolute cornerstone of academic quality.
I love this quote because it just nails it. It says, mapping isn't merely a routine task. No, it's the vital link that connects what you're teaching in your classroom to the huge overarching goals of the entire institution. It's what makes sure everyone is pulling in the same direction.
So, why does this matter so much? Well, this whole mapping thing does three incredibly important jobs. First, it makes sure every single course is strategically aligned with the program's goals. Second, for things like accreditation, it's totally non-negotiable. And third, it gives you hard data to make smart, real improvements to the curriculum. It's a win-win-win.
Okay, so if this is so important, why do so many faculty members kind of dread it, right? The answer is pretty simple. The sheer challenge of doing it all manually.
Just think about it for a second, especially if you've ever had to do this yourself. What's your biggest headache when it comes to mapping? What's the part that just makes you and your colleagues groan?
Yeah, for most people, the answers are pretty much the same. It's just so manual and takes forever. And because it's subjective, you might map things one way and the person in the office next door maps them completely differently. So you get these inconsistencies. Plus, trying to align every single assessment question, that's a huge hurdle.
And this is where the story gets really interesting. This is where AI steps in. We're talking about a genuine breakthrough that can take this super tedious, subjective task and turn it into something that's streamlined, data-driven, and incredibly efficient.
So, we've established the old way is a total grind. The big question is, how much of a difference can AI actually make here?
Get ready for this number. We're talking about a 95% reduction in the time spent on mapping. Just let that sink in. 95%. Tasks that used to take days or even weeks can now be done in minutes. Imagine what faculty could do with all that time back. Like focusing on teaching and mentoring students.
So how does it work? Well, the AI basically generates the first draft of the COPO matrix and even suggests how strong the correlations are. But, and this is a really crucial point, the AI is an assistant. It's a tool. It's not a replacement for human expertise. You, the educator, are still in the driver's seat to review, refine, and give that final stamp of approval.
Okay, so what does this new super fast process actually look like? Let's walk through it. It's pretty amazing.
It's a really straightforward 5-step workflow. First, you just input your course outcomes. Then, you import the program outcomes. Step 3, the AI does its magic and suggests the mapping strength. Then, the most important part, you, the faculty member, review and tweak it. Once it looks good, step 5, you just click Generate Report. Seriously, that's it.
And when the AI suggests that mapping strength, it's using a simple scale. Level 1 is a low correlation, 2 is medium, and 3 is a high correlation. The real beauty here is that the AI helps standardize this. It brings a level of consistency across the board, which is something that was really hard to achieve when everyone was doing it subjectively. And remember, this mapping isn't just about creating a nice report to file away. All this data feeds directly into how you measure student success. It's usually a blend. You've got direct assessment, that's about 80%, which is stuff like exams that measure what students can do. Then you've got indirect assessment, the other 20%, which is things like student surveys that capture their feedback and perceptions. All right, let's start to wrap this up. We've seen the problem and this amazing AI solution. So what are the big takeaways? And more importantly, how could a real institution actually get this up and running?
For me, there are 3 huge takeaways. First, that 95% time savings, that's a total game changer. Second, and this is so important, human expertise is not being replaced, it's being amplified. And third, you get this incredible consistency that just lifts the quality of the entire program.
And the best part? Getting started doesn't have to be this giant, overwhelming project. The roadmap is super practical. You just start small, maybe with a pilot in 2 or 3 courses, you get some feedback, do some faculty training, and then you start to roll it out wider. You just scale it up step by step, using the data to improve as you go.
Which really brings us to this powerful final thought from Dr. Aragade's work. The equation is simple. AI plus OBE equals smarter education. It's not just about saving time. It's about creating a smarter, more effective way to teach. And that leaves us with a really exciting question to think about. If you got 95% of that admin time back, what amazing new things could you do for your students?